What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over my top 10 Minecraft building hacks, tips, and tricks, or whatever else you want to call them. Now, before we get into this video, I first want to mention if you do end up enjoying this video and you find it useful, then please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. It's completely free and it helps me out a ton. And if you know anybody else who would find this video useful as well, then please make sure to share it with them. I also want to mention that I am not trying to take credit for any of these hacks, tips, or tricks. This is just me sharing my favorite hacks, tips, and tricks that I use in my builds with you guys. So with that being said, let's get right into this video. So for this first building hack, tip, or trick, which I will probably refer to these as tricks for the rest of the video, so I'm not going to say that the entire time. But for this first one, I actually learned this one from BOO while watching his Building with BOO series. And this one's pretty simple. It's for a shutter on your doors. So to add a little bit of variation to the shutters, instead of it just being something like that, you can actually bring it out by placing in just a temporary block right here. This could be any block. And then you put in your trapdoors like that. And then you break those and you add a sign right there and right there. And it's this really nice shutter design. I absolutely love this, and this is honestly probably my favorite trick that I'm going to show you guys today. I absolutely love this. So then for this next trick, this one is for when you have a little storage area here and you want to add some wood storage. Obviously you could just place in a bunch of logs like this, and that would look pretty good, but to make this a little bit better, you can actually place in some campfires here like that, and then extinguish them with a shovel. And then it just looks like these little oak logs are just piled up on top of this wood pile. It looks amazing and it is perfect for wood storage. I also believe I learned this one from watching Fwip. So that's where I learned this one, and I absolutely love this little hack slash tip. It looks amazing. Now, the only thing about this one that I don't like is that the ashes are there at the bottom. I really wish those weren't there, and I know you can remove those with texture pack stuff, but in default Minecraft, there's really nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. Now this next little trick is for when you have a pile of storage things for like your port area or anywhere that you would have just a pile of storage stuff like barrels and chests and maybe some other things. What I really like to add to these piles of storage are some beehives, because these guys look like little crates with a lid on top of them. So I really like using these as like extra little storage blocks. I think they look really good. Obviously they're not functional because it's a beehive, but I do really like the way that these look with the other storage blocks. I think they fit in pretty well. Now, one of the biggest unfortunate downsides with these is if you're building in an area that has a lot of bees, then they might make these their home, so you do have to be careful about that. Now for this next little trick, this is for when you have a bookshelf and you want to add a little bit of variation to it. What you can do is you can take a loom and then go around back here, and then you can place in a loom kind of like that around the bookshelf, or however you want to place it, and this looks like empty bookshelves right here. The back texture of the loom really looks like an empty bookshelf, and it really is a good way to add a little bit of variation to an otherwise plain wall. So I really like this trick as well. I don't remember where I first learned this one from, but I do know that this is a fairly widely used one in the Minecraft community. Now this next trick is for flower boxes that go under the window. And this one is a pretty simple trick. I think most people already know this, but it is one that I use quite a bit and I absolutely love. So for the flower boxes, I really like using flowering azalea leaves. I think they look amazing and they add a nice little bit of extra detail for a flower box. And then of course I usually surround these by spruce trapdoors because I think they look really good and they really make it look like a flower box. But something that I have also been doing recently is surrounding these with spruce signs. And I really like the way this looks. It allows more of this leaf block to show through, and it does add a nice little extra bit of color to this, and it makes it look a little bit more like a flower box in my opinion. I do wish the sign texture would go all the way down to the bottom. That's the only thing that I don't really like about this one, but I absolutely love how part of this leaf block is showing at the top. I think it looks amazing. So for this next building trick, it's actually more of a tip, this one, but that is to not be afraid to do even numbered walls. I know a lot of builders tell you to do odd numbered walls, but it is sometimes good to add an even number to your walls just to add a little bit of variation to your build. So here, as you can see, we have this 4-block wide wall, and then we also have a 3-block wide wall here. And of course you do want to try and keep your main wall, your front wall, where the roof peak is going to be an odd number, just because it makes it easier for doing the roof peaks. But for the rest of the build, for these sidewalls here, sometimes it is good to add a little bit of extra variation by making it an even number. So then this next building trick is to add a little bit of extra support here to this little archway. Now you could leave it like this, you could also add some stair blocks in the corners and that would give it a little bit of extra support. But something that I have been doing recently is adding in these nice little decorative supports, and I absolutely love this design. It is super simple and easy, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. So you end up with this, and there is a little hole here. I think that looks absolutely amazing. I love having this little hole here. It makes it look so much better and add a little bit of detail. And it's super simple. It's just this stair block here facing this way, and then a half slab right here, and then a spruce trapdoor against this post, and it looks amazing. I absolutely love the way it looks, and it is a nice way to add an extra little bit of detail to an otherwise boring looking tunnel. So for this next trick, we are going to take this otherwise flat and boring wall, and around this window here, we are going to add this little outcropping that is going to give us a nice little bit of depth and detail. So for this one, we're just going to do 2 stairs like this with a trapdoor in between them, and then we're going to use regular logs going 3 blocks up, and then finish this off with a stripped log at the top. And then we are going to put in our roof here like this, and then this is going to go up into a peak just like that. And this gives us a nice little bit of extra detail and depth to an otherwise boring and flat wall around the window here. Now for this next trick, this one I learned from Fwip as well, and that is to add campfires to your chimneys to make them look a little bit more alive. And the way that you cover up the campfire is by surrounding it with spruce trapdoors, because these are solid and they look pretty good. And then you just put this brick wall on top of them. And I think this looks absolutely amazing for a chimney design. It allows some smoke to rise up out of it, and it makes it feel a lot more alive, and it just looks so much better this way. I absolutely love doing this with my chimneys. I do this all the time. Now, one of the unfortunate side effects of this is if you do it too much in a city, then it can get a bit laggy because there is a lot of moving particles. So that is a bit unfortunate about this one. But if you have a powerful enough computer to handle that many campfires, it makes it look so much better. And then for this final trick, it is adding some extra detail to your roofs. And I have started doing this recently where I add these extra little peak things to the ends of my roofs using a full block and 2 slabs. And I think it looks amazing. It adds this nice little curvature to the roof, which gives it a nice little extra bit of detail. And I think it looks absolutely amazing. So I have really been doing that a lot in my builds recently. So there it is. Those are my top 10 Minecraft building hacks, tips, and tricks at the current moment. Obviously this list will change over time, so I will try and make some updated videos on this list in the future. But right now, these are my favorite hacks, tips, and tricks for you guys to start doing in Minecraft. So of course, if you did end up enjoying this video and you found it useful, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. It's completely free and it helps me out a ton, so I would greatly appreciate it. And if you know anybody else who you think would find this video useful as well, then make sure to share it with them. And if you guys would like to interact with me or my community outside of YouTube, then make sure to join my Discord server linked down in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter, also linked down in the description. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, so as always, don't forget to keep building.